Hi, today I'm going to do this where I share my notes with you because it's going to be easier that way. And today's topic is identifying a narcissist. Now, I have noticed a trend in recent years that in the mainstream narrative, and it seems that the topic of being a narcissist is coming up everywhere. Now, is it that there are exponentially more narcissists, or could it be that those who are narcissists are attempting to make their characteristics appear more normal? Or is it that the current programming of the masses is to be egotistical and selfish versus heart-centered, loving, and wanting to serve others? I would go with the latter. Humans are being programmed to have a service to self attitude, and that is not what we want here. In this realm, we need to be about service to others. Now, having one or two narcissistic traits is not reason for alarm. I mean, it is quite normal, especially with that kind of programming permeating society. But if you find yourself identifying with a lot of behaviors described in this presentation, you may be a narcissist. And I'm sorry if so. Narcissism happens due to pain or trauma. Narcissists are people that have shut down emotionally as very small children. And over 80% of narcissists cannot be helped, according to mental health professionals. If you identify that someone close to you is a narcissist, the best thing to do is avoid that person. Odds are good that they will not change. If you can't avoid them, keep conversation confined to shallow topics and spend the minimum time with that person. Okay, so signs someone is a narcissist. Now, most of these bullet points I agree with, and most of these things that I have in this presentation. They make every situation about them. They pressure you to be successful because they want to look good. They're superficial. They have an inflated sense of who they are. They often use manipulation to get what they want. They demand praise for doing things for you. They use shame to get you to do what they want. They lie to persuade you, and they dismiss thoughts that differ from theirs. I like it when, they make every situation about them. Like if somebody, is giving birth to a child and somebody in the room, the lady doesn't want a certain person in there, the lady giving birth, but somebody refuses to leave because they want to witness it. Well, that's disrespectful. Or, they want to pressure you to be successful because they want to look good. They want you to get a degree, not to better yourself, but because they want to be able to tell people that their spouse has a degree. They don't want to have to say that their spouse is, doesn't have a college education. Things like that. They're superficial. They care very much about, impression, how dare you wear jeans to a picnic. Just silliness. Very concerned with the matrix. 15 signs of a narcissist. Grandiosity or elevated sense of importance. Arrogant, must always be right and is very critical of others. A scoffer. Lacks empathy, cannot give comfort or show vulnerability. Crude or lacks manners at home, though civil in public. Gaslights to get you to doubt yourself, your thoughts and feelings. Sees others as objects or as a supply rather than people. Often complains that people are cheating him or her. Paranoid. Blames others and projects their own faults onto others. Bullies, demeans, and manipulates others. Lives in a fantasy world where they are powerful, famous, or wealthy. Mood swings and unpredictable rages. Goes out of the way to topple boundaries. Respects no one. Entitled. Everything belongs to them. Often destroys your things. Need constant praise and admiration. Shamelessly exploits others for personal gain. Narcissist checklist. Two-faced, putting friends and family down behind their backs. Tendency to blame their lack of success and failures on others. Acts different in public than private. Irresponsible and unreliable. I found, now that one, lots of them are actually very responsible and reliable because they have a certain image to uphold. Arrogant, acts superior to people close to them. Lives in a fantasy world, which may include porn, flirting, affairs, and dreams of unlimited success and fame. Addicted to this fantasy-oriented behavior. Will lie and distort facts and change events to suit their own agenda. They can be irresponsible with money. Maybe. but many times they aren't. Emotionally distant and unavailable unless they want something. Lack of sympathy for others, especially those they exploit. Very controlling and unable to relax. Yes, that's very true. Regularly provoke people and blame them for the fight. Yes. Have trouble admitting their mistakes. Narcissistic traits. Nothing will ever be his fault. He'll never be there for you, ever, no matter what. He will always be the tragic victim. He will never see you, your need, your love, your pain, your loneliness, your accomplishments. Everything will be about him, his way or the highway. He'll never, ever admit being wrong. He'll be angry with you every single day. Maybe not every single day, but it'll be frequently and for things that should not invoke anger in the normal person. Silent treatments and neglect can and do go on for several weeks at a time, especially if you point out one of his flaws. Well, when you finally leave, he'll invent stories about you. Oh, yes. While you do everything possible for your relationship, he'll do nothing, and you'll start to feel like you're 100 years old. It's very true. Signs of a toxic person. Your feelings are seen as drama. Nothing you say or do is enough. You find yourself explaining the basic elements of human respect to a full-grown adult. They accuse you of emotions they intentionally provoke. They occasionally make you feel worthless and not good enough. They violate your boundaries and they never respect no. You feel your energy drained when you're with them. Normal people can't just turn the love they have for people on and off like a switch. That is not how normal human beings function. That is why even when they find out that the narcissistic sociopath is deceptive and abusive, they have a difficult time walking away. They sometimes go back and forth a few times before they make that final break. But the sociopath can turn love off immediately because it is an act and a manipulation they use, especially during the love bombing stage, to draw the victim in. That is why when they ghost you and disappear, you don't understand how a person could express all those sentiments and tell you how much they care about you only to disappear from sight, traumatizing and abandoning the victim. The thing is, a narcissist doesn't really care for anybody. They just use you as a energy supply. Now, narcissistic parents is something that one may have, and those are self-absorbed, authoritarian, know-it-alls, negative, highly critical of others, like to yell, secretive, possessively close to the child, cunning, manipulative, exploitive, stingy, pathological liars, envious and competitive, deaf to others' opinions, don't listen, bragging and exaggerating, ungrateful, no boundaries, inept at basic manners, and lack a sense of humor, especially at themselves. And I have known parents like this. Okay, 12 possible signs of a narcissistic parent: fulfilling their dreams through you, a trophy kid, showing you off for his or her confidence, attention is all about them, marginalization and putting you down, smear campaigning other people, showing off in public events, publicly parading, all kinds of manipulations such as blaming, using guilt, shaming, negative comparisons, pressure about expectations, showing childish behavior, being jealous and competitive with you, tense and unpredictable reactions, lack of emotional empathy, creating a dependency, neglecting you. Is it possible for someone to be a narcissist and not know it? All narcissists on some level know there is something different about them in comparison to others. They do not necessarily feel this difference is a bad thing, even when it is affecting their lives negatively. Their entire lives revolve around the sole purpose of pushing down or away self-awareness of who they are at their core. They disown themselves at a very young age and hate their authentic self, which keeps them from developing any further emotionally. Keeping this hated little person walled off from exposure is at the core of making sure they have whatever mask/impression management in place at all costs. They are actually very conscious of how sick they are and how much they are different. They just quickly dismiss this awareness from surfacing and becoming exposed. They do know they are sick, however. And are quick to dismiss it from fully surfacing to constructive self-reflection in order to change, and would rather protect themselves from exposure, as this would mean taking the inferior position of needing help. That sentence is messed up. This is all too painful for the narcissist's fragile ego, that they have built an image of themselves instead of going in, repairing the damage to their real self, and rebuilding that authentic part of themselves. Everyone, no matter what their issues are, can see the truth of themselves if they want to, even the narcissist. So, if somebody in your life is a narcissist, then you're going to have to deal with them a certain way. And I will discuss dealing with a narcissist in another video. But this one is just to identify them. So, hopefully you don't know anyone, and hopefully you're not one. But if you do, just remember that it's them and it's not you. Don't listen to their attacks and don't take it personal. Yeah, you just don't deserve it. Nobody deserves the treatment of a narcissist. So, thanks for listening. I hope you enjoyed the video and have a great day.